Hi everybody. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring you with me on this journey really quickly because I'm super excited and you guys need an update. So we're gonna do this really quickly and bear with me for a second. We are ready to go with our pack. Now we're just setting up our sleeping bag. So as many of you guys have followed with me on my live videos, you guys know how much I love setting up my tent and how much I love camping outdoors. So we are gonna be sleeping on top of Volcán Atitlán, Volcán Tolimán in El Chanan, which is the base camp between Volcano Atitlán and Volcano Tolimán that sit at 3,500, 3,400 meters. This is a Eureka sleeping bag. Smells like it just came out of a closet. There we go, there we have it. Boom.com, 100Q, $13. I'm gonna show you guys the gear I'm working with. I feel like you guys have a right to know, you deserve to know what it looks like, and this is it. I mean, I don't think I've really brought you guys on the live journey, but we're gonna be using Instagram to share live updates of like literal point to point what we're doing. So I've got high-level Gore-Tex pants. I've got my gloves, which I forgot to bring an underlayer for them, so I feel a little silly for that, but I'll maybe buy some when I get to Ecuador, like made out of wool or alpaca or something like that. I forgot my thermal underwear, which I'm super sad about, but again, I might be able to get that in Quito. I think that for the volcanoes here, I will not need thermal underwear. I'll survive with just the stockings that I have and maybe another layer of like maybe these cotton pants underneath that, and then that underneath my hiking pants, and then the hiking pants plus those two layers will also go underneath the Gore-Tex at nights. So we're gonna be, again, sleeping on top of Volcano Atitlán and Volcano Tolimán. And of course, I've got my thermal jacket as well. So I'm feeling pretty good. I've got my hiking boots, my Columbia hiking boots, and I'll just, you know, wear a long sleeve shirt, and that's gonna be good. Okay. I've got all the granola and everything getting ready. I'm like getting like a pack of granola in order. I'm gonna make a couple of eggs, like boiled eggs and stuff like that. Okay. I've got I should show you guys in full, so I guess I'll just have to repack my bag. But all right, so I'm bringing my Columbia boots. These are, I call them my non-slip, I'm not falling off the mountain today boots. So they're gonna be good for the hike yeah, for sure, in Atitlán and Tolimán. So I don't know what to expect on the summit, but from what I understand, they're stratovolcanoes, at least Atitlán is, just like Acatenango. So I'm expecting a barren, exposed summit, which means it's gonna be a pretty steep incline, which means that these boots are gonna be really important. But it also means that there's very little protection on the summit, so it's gonna be very cold. So you guys know the color. You already know this tent, so we're bringing this tent with me, but it's not going to be on the beaches of Galveston. This little guy over here is going to be doing his first time on top of a volcano because we already lost our first tent when we lost all of our gear in Chile. So I had lost over at least $1,000 in gear, and it was just painful. I don't want to talk about it, but yeah. Alrighty, so the sleeping bag has to go underneath this tent because when I get to the summit, I'm not gonna wanna like drag out the tent and have the wind blowing it around while I'm drag out the sleeping bag while the wind is blowing and the rain is coming in. So we got the tent over the sleeping bag, and my hiking boots are just gonna actually come out because I'm gonna go ahead and wear the hiking boots to the summit. And then what the goal is, the plan is to set up camp at the summit, have like a hot thermos of water ready. I'll make a cup of miso soup, instant miso soup. I'll have a cup of tea, and then that'll be the last of the hot water. But I'm bringing a steel cup with me, and it's lighter, so there's a chance that somewhere in the jungle on my way back down, I'll have the chance to make a cup of coffee. But if not, then I might be able to come back into town and purchase a cup of hot water and make some coffee. Or just don't make, I'm bringing instant coffee, but I don't know how I'm going to make it because I don't know if I'm going to be building a fire while I'm up there. But definitely I'm going to be bringing a thermos of hot water and 2 liters of water that I'm going to be bringing with me on the summit. So 2 liters of water for 2 days and 1 night overnight on Atitlán. 1 thermos of hot water with instant tea and instant miso soup. A bag of granola with chocolate and figs and nuts and things like this. What else do you guys need to know about this expedition? This is my I'm not losing my phone bag. Get it? Cause I lost my phone last time. Yes! I love that feeling when it fits in perfectly. Oh God, it's so sexy. Okay. Woo. Oh my God. And that's it. That's literally it. I've got all my gear. I got the thermal. I've got everything packed now. So we're pretty much ready to go. Like, I honestly could leave like tonight, but I want to stay because there's a drum circle and open mic tonight at my friend's shop at Carlos's La Sagrada. So I'm going to stay in San Marcos for 1 more week, do a little bit more training, walking around, do some open jams at the aerial in Starry Mountain, and then we're ready to go Saturday morning. So Saturday morning at 5 in the morning, we're taking a boat to Santiago, maybe with a friend, and we're gonna hike up Volcano Atitlán. The friend is not gonna be staying overnight. The friend is gonna go back down the trail, and I'm gonna go ahead and continue on to the saddle of Atitlán and Tolimán, which is a ridge that connects the 2 peaks of the volcanoes. And then I'll sleep on that saddle in the base camp known as El Chanan. And then at sunrise, I'll hopefully be on the peak of Tolimán. So I'll wake up around 3 or 4, hike up Volcano Tolimán, and watch the sunrise for Volcano Tolimán, and then come back down to Tolimán San Lucas, which is a town at the bottom of Tolimán. So we're going to go up Volcano Atitlán via the Santiago Trail, which is about 25 minutes by boat from San Marcos. And then we're going to go down on the second day, Volcano Tolimán to Tolimán San Lucas, which is another 35 minutes back to San Marcos. And we'll be back in time for Kirtan on Sunday. So that's the plan. That's pretty much the plan. I can't, I don't know how else to prepare you guys. But, you know, Alex, my CSM back in JROTC used to say, fail to plan, plan to fail. So promising you, I am not failing to plan. And so I do not plan to fail. I even have a fail safe. I have an emergency contact. So the person that's going to be going up Volcano Atitlán with me is ready to call the emergency services if I do not arrive back in San Marcos by that night. We have 2 people, Carlos from La Sagrada and my buddy who's going to Volcano Atitlán with me. So they're ready to call the San Marcos Police Department, who will contact the Bomberos Voluntarios and the Medio Ambiente if I don't come back on Sunday night, or at least send a text message from San Lucas, Tolimán. So if it's Monday morning and you guys aren't hearing from me in a successful summit with one of my cute little posts with music, well then most likely the authorities have been contacted. And the reason why I say this is because this is going to be one of my first backcountry overnight trips. I'm not going off trail, but I'm definitely not doing this straightforward overnight day hike trail from the town and back down to the town. We're going from one town across the 2 volcanoes into another town. So there's a small chance of getting lost and taking the wrong trail, but hopefully I'll have enough food with me and enough tea with me and some water where if that does happen, I can hunker down, try to find my way back to town. and wait for the authorities to find me. So there is a plan for everything. I'm covering all scenarios. So I just want you guys to be aware of what I'm doing and what's going on, because I feel like this is a personal experience of what it looks like to be an expeditioner and a mountaineer. So you guys are seeing it. This is a countdown. We're in the last week before an expedition, and I can feel it. It's like every day is kind of like has its own meaning, because you know, when you do an expedition like this, it just makes you feel like an appreciation for life. So I'm pretty excited about that. No, there are no wild animals here except for dogs and people. There are no leopards or anything like that, jaguars. If you go to Petén, maybe you'll find a jaguar. I would be really surprised if you found a jaguar here in Solola. So I doubt that I'll run in. There are no bears or anything like that, so I'll run into wild animals. Really, the security is other people, but to be honest, you get high enough on the summit, the nature protects you. Just the sheer weather patterns protect you, because it's so cold. You know, no one can really survive up there. So that's really all I'd have to worry about is people and robbing, and I won't really have any money on me. So just pray for my safety and that I run into kind people that I need to run into. But yeah, so we're in Tuesday, and I'm leaving on Saturday. So I have another 4 days before the expedition, and I can feel it. I can feel it in me. I'm looking at the maps. I've got my pack ready, and you know, it's literally like living out in nature, and I can feel the calling of the wild, the call of the wild in my body. You know, right now, wanting to go out into nature and go sleep on the summit. I'm very excited. Guys, I'm not forcing myself to do this just because I want to summit Mount Everest. I genuinely want to go sleep on top of the volcano. And I want to go explore Volcano Atitlán and Volcano Tolimán. So I want you guys to understand that I'm not forcing myself to do this because I have an expedition or a dream that I want to summit Mount Everest. It is genuinely that I love the volcanoes. And I love living in them. I love living out in nature, camping, seeing the stars, being in the quiet and the solitude of the mountain, seeing the clouds, you know, when you get above 3,000 meters, just seeing the clouds and the sun over the clouds. I mean, it's really epic. And then you guys, you know what's even more fascinating? At night, when the clouds come over the volcano and you're just in the middle of this like cold weather chaos on top of a 3,000 meter volcano. It's just super cool. So we're going to be at 3,500 meters in Volcano Atitlán, and we're going to be spending the night before we head to Shela to do Santa Maria and spend the night on Santa Maria, because guys, we are heading to Ecuador for sure. I'm going to probably spend one more week here in San Marcos for the music after I get back from Shela on my way back to Guatemala City. And then from there, we're flying from Guatemala City to Quito, where I'm going to do Chimborazo. So I'm going to attempt Chimborazo first, because if money doesn't permit me to do Cotopaxi, well, then I can say that I have been on the tallest summit. Technically, the tallest point of Earth near the atmosphere. But it is not the tallest mountain, because Mount Everest is 8,876 meters, and Chimborazo is only 5,900 meters, 5,920 something, 40 something meters. So it's right there at 6,000 meters. That's about 2,000 meters, about 2,500 meters lower than Mount Everest. But Chimborazo and its peak is the furthest away from the center of the earth. So we're going to go ahead and just go to the highest point that man can walk into the atmosphere, which is Chimborazo, and I will already be acclimated for it because of spending the night on El Chanan near Atitlán and in Santa Maria. So 3,000 meter volcanoes for one nearly 6,000 meter volcano, and then if money permits it, we'll do Cotopaxi, but if not, we'll save that money, head to Chile, go live at the resort in the surf town of La Serena, and save up a little bit more money before making our way to Aconcagua in Argentina to do the tallest peak in Aconcagua. If we successfully summit Aconcagua, I will most likely go ahead and put Cotopaxi on the sideline. I'm hoping to do Cotopaxi if I can find a guide company company that will give me a deal to do both peaks, but it looks like I'm gonna make the decision to do Chimborazo and Aconcagua if I cannot afford to do Chimborazo and Cotopaxi in Ecuador plus Chimborazo. So that's the plan. We're gonna do 3 volcanoes here in Guatemala, maybe a 4th volcano, San Pedro, if I'm here in San Marcos La Laguna again on the 3rd week of being in Guatemala. And then at the end of January, fly to Quito, and in the last week of January, summit the world's highest points closest to our atmosphere. So super, super excited, to say the least. But yeah, so there you have it. There's my, this is me ready to go. This is the pack I'm gonna need. This is literally everything I'm gonna need to summit. I can literally leave Guatemala with nothing but this pack and I'm ready to summit mountains. So I'm very, very grateful. But of course, you guys know I'm gonna be bringing my trusty ukulele. So the ukulele is gonna be up there with me while I'm on the mountain. Duh. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. I can't think of anything else you guys need to know. We're ready to go. I kind of want to share a song with you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and end this live video now because I have some studying I need to do, and I am going to go find a place that I can play my ukulele. So thank you for following my journey, and peace, love, and namaste from Guatemala, San Marcos, La Laguna.